Hi there. There's never been a better time to create an online course to reach a wider audience and monetize your knowledge. But where do you start? Our approach at Blade is focused on coaching you in purposeful learning design to support your creation of quality, blended, and online learning. This means that we promote a very explicit step-by-step planning approach before jumping into course creation. This helps to ensure a successful outcome for you and your learners. However, time and time again, we work with people who just want to get hold of a tool to see what's possible, to build an experiment and get an idea of what their online course could look like. That's fine. There are many tools out there that can help you quickly set up and sell your online course. But we think one of the best tools for online course development is Thinkific. Mainly because of the ease of use for educators looking to create content and for the experience of the learners in the platform. We've been using this product for around 4 years and it keeps developing and improving. So here's a quick overview of how you can get your online course up and running in less than 10 minutes. If you like the look of the product, there's a link in the description below with a good starting offer for you. Okay, so once you log into Thinkific, you'll be presented with a desktop that looks something like this. You won't have any courses there at this point, but we're not going to worry about all the other options available here. We're just going to look at this top option of Manage Learning Products, okay? So if I click here, this shows where your courses will sit, any communities that you'll set up, any membership options that you might want to set up, and the video library where your course videos may sit. For now though, all I'm interested in is setting up a course, so I'm going to click here, I'm going to click the New Course button. And you'll see that you're provided with a number of templates. For this example though, I'm going to click on the blank course template and give it a name. So we're just going to call it Test for now, and don't worry, as it says there, you can change this easily later. So we're going to create that course. So this is the course builder template that we're presented with, the back end that we can construct our course in. And again, there's a number of options. We're just going to really focus on this curriculum building option, or the settings option is worth pointing out because this is where you can go back and change the name of your course. You can provide a description of your course, and you can upload an image just by dragging and dropping a banner image over in there to give your course a nice visual related to your theme. But the main section that we're interested in, as mentioned, is this curriculum build development. So this is where we structure the course by providing a skeleton that we can then flesh out with content and activities. And this is where a lot of course designers fall down because they haven't got a clear structure, or they try to pack in too much content and learners end up disengaging or not completing the course. To avoid this and design a course that your learners will engage with and benefit from, we at Blade have got a number of educational offerings to guide you through this process of learning design for digital education. But one quick and simple step you can take is to produce what we call a visual learning design. So it's something like this that we've just created in PowerPoint. And this is really just an overview of the course. First of all, we go through the process of developing clear, measurable learning outcomes that will guide the whole development of the course. And then you can see we've got a very clear structure. So we've got 4 sections and then a welcome stroke introduction section. And we talk about the importance of having this and getting your learners kind of introduced to you, introduced to the course, the intentions of the course, and having some kind of orientation. And then we look at the structure and the content of the course. So this is very focused on these learning outcomes down here. Once you have the skeleton, which is the sections, if you like, you can start thinking about what content goes into those sections and what assessments or learning activities you want to include and what resources will support this. So it's a very kind of considered approach from the start. And what this allows us to do, when we have an overview like this, we can then take it back to the course design. So I can see that I've got essentially 5 sections. So in this program, we call them chapters, but you can call them sections or weeks. So we can say this one is week 1 and give it a name. It doesn't have to be in weeks, it could be just in sections, but it really helps to structure the course. And I'm going to say week 2. I want to say I'm going to run this course over a series of 4 weeks. Week 3, week 4. Okay, and then I mentioned that I want this introduction or welcome section as well. Very important. So I'm going to label that welcome and save this. Now we can see that the welcome section is going to come at the end rather than the beginning. And I can quickly preview what this course is going to look like so far. So I've got the skeleton, I've got the structure, but I've got no content. And I want this welcome section to come at the top. So I can just close that, go back to the builder, the back end, drag that to the top. And I've got the sequence that I want. Now it's time to start adding the content. Okay, so you can see here that each block has an add lesson option. Add lesson, we think about it as adding content. So if I click here, you see that I'm provided with a whole host of options on how I want to deliver content and some options of how I want to assess your students. Remember, online courses, it's not just about delivering information. How can you get your students to interact, engage, show their understanding throughout the course is a key consideration in the course design. So it's not just about content delivery, information overload. Now, as far as the digital delivery is concerned, I've got a number of options here. You've got video, as you would imagine. I've got text options. We've got options to allow students to download digital artifacts, if you like. We've got some multimedia options here, which is actually quite useful. I'll go through that. PDFs, audio, presentation options, which is quite a neat feature. I'll go through, and also the option to plug in some live synchronous delivery within your course. So if you're going to have a fully asynchronous course, which means that students go through the content in their own time, it's fine. But with bigger courses, you might want to add that extra element of live support coaching to ensure that your students are in line with your intended outcomes and in line to succeed throughout the course. And then you've got the assessment options here, which are really going to give you insight into how your students are doing throughout the course. So you don't necessarily want to leave the assignment or the quiz or the survey until the end. Which is often the case. You know, summative means at the end of the learning. You want to try and introduce more kind of formative assessment types so that you can intervene and see where your students are going wrong or where they need guidance before they reach the end of the course. Okay, so how do we add content to this course then? Video, as you would imagine, is quite straightforward. So I'll click the video option, and you're actually uploading the video into the Thinkific site. So let me get a video option here. Okay, so this is just the latest video that I got my hands on my hard drive. And it's actually about PowerPoint tips. And we'll just leave it for a moment while it uploads, and we'll come back once it's finished. Okay, so that took about a minute and a half, I think, to upload. It wasn't too long, but it just gave me time to have a quick break and get a sip of water. So that's uploaded. It still says it's processing. So I'm going to save that. And obviously that's dependent on your internet speed as to how quickly that would upload into the system. But having this video content within Thinkific will ensure that once your learners are engaging with it, the video will come in a lot quicker than maybe if it was externally hosted somewhere else. Okay, so you can see we've got the video option here in the course. And actually I can change the icon for that if I choose to do so. But again, that's a distraction that we won't get involved with just now because we're looking at the different content types. So video is one way of delivering information to your learners. Text is another way. And obviously you can type something out, which is fine, but you can use the text field in a slightly different way as well that might be useful. So I mentioned that once we put video into Thinkific, it's hosted on Thinkific servers, but there might be something somewhere else, such as YouTube, that you want to use. This is an example of an educator introduction video that I created, and I might want to keep it in YouTube. Also, there might be someone else's content that you want to link to within YouTube. So how can you do that within these courses? So the best way to do it, I think, is to click on the right button, copy the embed code, go back to Thinkific, and of course you could provide a link here, but once you link to YouTube externally, you have people leaving your course environment, and that's never a good idea. You want to keep people in the same environment, keep learners in the same environment for as much of your course as possible. So I've copied the embed code from YouTube, and if I go here, I have an option to view the code. So I'm going to click on that, and now I'm in HTML view mode. I don't know much about HTML, to be honest, but I know that this is a useful feature. So I can Control V just to paste that HTML code that was copied from YouTube. And when I switch off the code view, my video is going to be there. Okay, so this is my educator introduction video, and I can save that, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. So now we've got two forms. We've got video and we've got text, but we're actually embedded a video within there. What else do we have? Well, so you might have a downloadable file or workbook that you might want to offer. So for example, I do have a workbook. It's quite a big workbook actually that I'll drop into there. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time to upload, but that's fine. This is just in the build phase. Okay, and it's quite fast, as you can see. Okay, so that's going to be my workbook. I'm going to save that. Okay, we're going to take a look at what this looks like from the user perspective in just a moment, but I'm just going to keep adding these different content types. Multimedia. Okay, this is a great one to link to. So I'm a big fan of Padlet. Padlet for getting students to upload into what looks like the course container, the course environment, but using a super useful tool like Padlet. So you can create a Padlet for almost anything, and it's about getting your students to contribute back to the course. So I think this activity was, research learning theories and upload in different ways your understanding of those theories. So I can have a Padlet like this, and I can copy it, and I can paste it into the course. And I'm just going to call it, not very thoughtful title, but just to give you an example of what's possible here. So student upload. So again, I'm not really messing around with any options. I'm just clicking on these different presentation types and uploading content. PDF. I've got a short example there of a PDF. I'm just going to call it session 1. Resource. It still needs to upload. Okay, save that. And then we've got audio as an option. This is an option that I really like, presentation. So I just uploaded a PDF. This lets you do something quite nice. When you save your PowerPoint slides as a PDF, you can then upload them into this option. And the thing that's really quite neat about it is that it breaks down the PDF into individual slides, which you can then provide a voice over for each slide. So you provide audio over the top, which is a really cool feature, I think, in Thinkific. Okay, but once it's uploaded, it gives you each slide like this, and then I can just click, and I can start, giving an overview of what the slide's about. So I'm going to click on audio recording. It's a really nice feature. So this slide's about the syllabus. The syllabus is very important because it provides a blueprint for you to build the course, and it provides a compass that the learner can follow. Da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. I can stop and save that. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good overview of different content delivery methods. And then, as I said, for the assessments, you can just quickly set those up. We've got MCQs option here, surveys and exams and assignments. And also you have this option here that could link out to other tools as well. If you wanted to use something like quizzes or Kahoot, you could be linking to external tools for that. So that's a very quick build of mechanisms of delivery. But what does it look like? We can come to here. We can preview, and we can see that
we previously discussed that to create
the video just automatically starts playing there. Looks quite crisp, quite nice. The embedded video, that's okay. I think we can play around with the sizing here so that it appears as a rectangle rather than a block. So that's something to do in the setup. But for now, that's an okay way of plugging in external video content. For the workbook download, I just click, and it's going to download onto my hard drive as a student. And I can start going through that, filling it in. What else do we have? Okay, so we have the Padlet embed. That looks very nice within the course. Again, as a student, I can click. I can upload all different types of content, videos, links to things. Very powerful tool to include. The PDF option, it's keeping that within the container of the course, and it's got an option here to download it. So I could potentially put my workbook here as well, so that rather than having a download like this, I could have it embedded and then give the students an option to download. And I can also remove that option to download as well if I don't want students or learners to take the content out of my course. And then there's this super cool function of the presentation option, again, where my PDF has been uploaded. Where is that one that I spoke on? Here it is. So this slide's about the syllabus. The syllabus is very important because... And that's a really nice feature, I think, because you can speak to each of those slides, and you only have to kind of get the audio right for one slide at a time, and it's quickly and easily updated and changed. Okay, once you're happy with your course, you can go back, and to quickly share it, you can click on this option here. You can share it on your social media links, or you can get the copy link that you can put anywhere you would like. Okay, so that's a very quick overview of Thinkific and how you could get an online course up and running in around 10 minutes. I'm looking at the video length, it's over 10 minutes, but I did do a lot of descriptive talking and demonstrating. So if you went straight in, followed those tips, you could surely get your course set up quickly and easily. I hope you got value from this video. If you have, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.